Is this dog abuse? Recently, Doc went missing, and I posted a picture of Doc in a bucket. He went missing with the bucket, and if anyone had seen a dog with a bucket on his head, then they would know it was mine. Some people were very concerned that I was abusing Doc because I put a bucket on his head. I thought I'd talk a little bit about how we got here. So, let's talk about Hotspots. I'm sure most dog owners are familiar with Hotspots. I have another dog that has Hotspots occasionally. They're pretty small, not really that big of a deal. However, here is for Doc, a very small hotspot. The thing is though, if you don't keep it clean and dry, it will proceed quickly. The stakes are pretty high if you fail in keeping Doc from licking the hotspot. It will get infected. It will smell really bad. The infection will be systemic. I know this because I can smell the infection on his breath. Now it's an emergency, and you need to hotfoot yourself down to the vet. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. He has had so many hotspots that he's absolutely terrified of the vet. When I take him for an emergency, I always give the okay for them to use anesthesia to put him completely out before addressing the hotspot. So let that sink in. If I don't keep the wound clean and dry, he's going to need to be put under. Also, each time I take him to the vet in this situation, I feed his PTSD. The last time I had to take him in, I gave the okay for anesthesia to make it easier for everybody. They were unable to sedate him because of his anxiety. They gave him as much sedative as they could safely, but they could not get a vein. I can't make this stuff up. I now have medicine to give him in my emergency kit from the vet to give him before I take him should he have another emergency hotspot. Okay, so now let's talk about cones. Smash. Okay, let's talk about donuts. Pop. So now let's talk about how long the collar has to be, because at the end of the day, that wound needs to stay clean and dry. So this cone looks like it's working. You can see I'm having already to duct tape it because Doc is starting to smash it like he always does. But the wound is healing. Yay! You can see the cone is getting more and more smashed, and I'm continuing to duct tape it. You can also see how big the cone is and how hard it is for him to maneuver in the house. But at the end of the day, it was not enough to keep him from licking the hotspot. Here is a close-up. I'm sure you can imagine, I was a little bit at wit's end. My husband has a friend who raises Malinois puppies for the military. She suggested the bucket. It actually works very well. It's easier for him to maneuver in the house. He has not been able to smash it. The hot spots were able to stay clean and dry and heal. Doc was also able to eat and drink with the bucket on. I had a bowl that would fit inside the mouth of the bucket. So there you have it, how we ended up with a dog with a bucket on its head. To be fair, I'm sure the visual was shocking to pet parents and more normal for those who actually work with working breeds. So, is this abuse? I'll let you draw your own conclusions because that's how life is. So, happy homesteading.